Hi, today we're going to draw the clock. I'm just going to leave it here with the book open just so that you have a little bit of time to look at it. The clock is basically it's an old-fashioned alarm clock, and it's a drawing that uses circle templates and a compass, and preferably a high quality compass, which I'll show how to use later on as we're going along. At this point though, I'm going to just leave that there for just a couple more seconds. That way you can see the measurements. And on this drawing, typically the measurements with the extension lines and dimension lines are not required because it's very cluttered and difficult for students to do. It seems to be that it's a drawing for beginners that makes it so that it's almost impossible for them to think through the thing because of all the dimensions all over the place. But it comes together relatively quickly and simply. Okay, so now I'm going to move the book out of the way, and I'm going to put down a pencil on the paper here so that I can zoom out. Now, I have used what my class standard is a 1/2 inch border with a 5/8 inch title block, and I'm not going to go into the details of the title block. I'm just going to rough the drawing out, and then later on someone can finish all that other stuff when they're doing the project itself. First off, we need to find the center of our work area on our paper, not the paper. There are borders all the way around, and if the image blurs in and out, that's just the autofocus that I've just been having a little bit of difficulty with maintaining in the one spot unless there is something in the picture itself. My preference is please use just a number 2 pencil. Mechanical pencils are okay for drawing light construction lines, but my preference is just a simple number 2. And of course there are drafting pencils. They're expensive, and a lot of students have a tendency towards misusing them. Now this drawing is going to require center lines on it. Actually it's going to require several of them. So I'm going to draw from where I found the center, making sure that my T-square has been bumped up, and I'm going to draw a nice light construction line across. And then I'm going to, at this point, I'm going to get rid of that X that goes from corner to corner. And please don't draw all the way from corner to corner. That's just a waste of graphite and then your eraser later on, because you're typically going to erase those. Make sure my T-square is bumped up on the edge of the board or the table. I'm going to draw my vertical construction line. And then I'm going to go in here and I'm going to erase and just get rid of those. Now, will this drawing be perfect? No. My expectation is that it's never perfect. That's why you don't get hundreds on these projects. From our measurements, most drawings, excuse me, let me unwrap the compass here. Most drawings typically, with this type, just a front view drawing, what you'll do is you'll start in the middle and you'll work your way out in terms of measurements. With this particular drawing on the clock, I like to work my way from the outside in and get the large circles done. I would tell you to default to using a circle template first and a compass where necessary. The large circle template that we have available to us, the largest circle is 3.5, but we have a 4-inch diameter circle. So what we're going to do first is we're going to set the hard point of our compass at zero on the ruler, and we're going to go out 2 inches. Now 2 inches is a radius. That would be from the center of the drawing out to the diameter of the circle when you do the complete circle. And this has got a rather hard lead in it, so this is about as dark as this particular circle is going to get for the outside. And now I'm done with the compass for this particular drawing. Next, I'm going to go to my next circle, which is 3.25. And when we look at our circle template, we have a 3.25 on there. Now some have slash marks that are done in black ink, and others have pinholes in them. And for some reason, the manufacturer of these did not make these square. So even though the circle template is crooked, the actual hole is right there, 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 and there. And it's on the circle template. I'm just going to go 3¼ inch circle. Then my next one is a 3-inch. Now I'm going to again line up the pinholes. Try to make sure that you get them as close as you can on your center lines. And that would be your vertical center line, your horizontal center line. And sometimes it's a little bit difficult to manipulate them. And then you have to hold the thing down very carefully, holding your pencil up almost vertically. There we go. We've got this. Now, the next circle that we can use for our circle template is going to be where the numbers are actually going to be. And it's actually given as a radius of 1 1/8 of an inch. And that is also the length of the one arm on the clock. But if we take 1 1/8, we can certainly use the compass for that radius, or we can double that and come up with 2 1/4. That's why I like to default to circle templates on this drawing. So with the 2 1/4, this will give us the circle where our numbers were going to go. It will also give us the arm length that we're going to draw in later. Now we got another small circle in the middle of the drawing that's 3/8 of an inch in diameter. And I'm going to take my small circle template, 3/8. This one has the marks. I'm going to try to make sure it's lined up correctly so it's not crooked. And it's probably a little bit off, but I'm a little bit liberal on that in terms of allowing that, so I'm not overly worried about that. Now, we have a bunch of different things we could do. It's not any one set procedure as to where we're going to go. We could put the marks for where the numbers are. We could put the arms on. We could do the feet at the bottom. It really doesn't matter. Whatever you feel as though you're comfortable with and getting to that, that's fine. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to give us the arm first, which is located off to this side. It actually is between the 7 and the 8 when we're doing the drawing, but it's at a 45-degree angle. So we find our center point in our drawing, we line up the 45-degree triangle again with the T-square, and we draw a line out to our first circle, which is the 2 1/4. That will give us the location of where our arm is going to be. Now, the arm is 3/16 of an inch wide. This ruler is down in 1/16 of an inch, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to line it up here at the 5 and have 1/16 and then a half, which is a 32nd, and then another half, and then this. So this is going to be one mark for the arm, this is going to be the other, and we're going to take our 45 again, and we're going to draw nice and light, nice and light. Now we're going to be presented with a different problem here, and that's a 60-degree angle for the point. Now when we look at this, we have our T-square lined up, then we take our 45 and we're going to combine that with the 30-60 triangle. We're going to start here, we're going to put it at this center line here, and we're going to slide the triangle down, and we're going to make our point right there. Then we have to switch direction, and this might get a little tricky because I might have to go up top with it. Nope, we're okay. In this direction, oops, I don't think that, nope, that's not correct. So I have to go and figure out which direction it's going to be. It should be tilted more, it seems to me. There we go. There we go. So even though sometimes it looks like it's the correct way to go, it necessarily isn't. We get rid of. I'm going to try not to clean up the stuff. I'm just roughing this drawing. Now, the next hand is horizontal and pointing towards the 3. Now, its overall length is 7/8 of an inch. So our 7/8 of an inch, we go right here. It's 14 spaces. 7/8 of an inch. There's where our point is. This is going to be fairly easy for us to accomplish. Again, oops, let me do the 3/16 measurement across, which is going to be a space and a half on our ruler with 16ths. Off slightly. Remember, there's an allowance of a 1/16 of an inch on this, so it's quite a bit of latitude for you in this drawing. And when you're done with this drawing, you should have a good feeling of accomplishment, because it is a complex drawing for early on in the year. Go out here. We go out there. And now we're going to go with our 60, because that's the angle. And 60 being coming from this, well, not that direction. Sorry. I'm actually cheating and using the 30. We'll clean it up. Again, this is rough in the drawing, so you know that you have to do your object lines later on. The arms look pretty good. My expectations are that you get close, that they're not too lopsided. Now, let's do our times, where the actual numbers are going to be located. Now, our numbers are going to be actually located on this particular circle right here. They're 1/4 inch high, and there's 12. Not the best 2 I've ever made, but it'll do. This line is where we're going to have a 3/16 line that is the indicator line for the clock. Yes, it's 3/16, and yes, it's 3/16. Next, we're going to go through our center here, and we're going to get where 2 o'clock is and 8 o'clock. And then we're going to flip this, and we're going to go this way. And we can get 10 and 4. Oops. This is a common mistake that I've made. I do it on the inner circle. Typically, when I'm helping a student out, that I do it on their paper and goof it up. But if we do stuff in light construction lines, it should erase later on. So let's do it at the right spot again. Right there. And right there. We'll change this. We'll go to there. Now, we've done this direction and this direction. Now we're going to do this direction. We'll go up here. We'll get our 11. And we'll get 5. And we'll flip it over. We'll get 1. Oops, almost did it again. 7. There we go. That part's done. The numbers will go around here. I'm not going to do those because I want the clock project video not to be too long. So we've got our arms. Now we're only going to have to do the small feet here and then the little pretend bell ringer at the top. Now, what we've got to figure out here on the bell on the top is we're going to have a little box construction up here. Now, our box construction is going to be 1/2 inch, which is going to be 8 spaces to the left of the center line and 8 spaces to the right. Now, it's going to be 3/16 high from, when we look at it, it's going to be from the circle here. It's going to be 3/16. So again, that's 3 spaces, which will put it right there. I'm going to switch pencils. That one's getting a little bit dull. Again, sharpen your pencils. I'm going to do what I tell you I don't really want you to do, and I'm going to switch to a mechanical pencil, but those are good for doing construction lines early on in drawings when you're making them up. Now again, I'm going to go to my measurement points. I'm going to go a little bit further, draw my construction lines across, take the eraser, use the T-square as a shield, and now I've got the little box. Now there's a 3/8 radius here. Now that 3/8 radius is from here and it goes up here, creates a little bit of an arc. Now we can do one of two things. We can use our small circle template, or we can use a compass. Now if we use our compass, we're going to set the compass because the radius is from the center of the circle out. And notice I just randomly use whatever numbers that I happen to lie on. I don't go back to 0, but there's 3/8. So that's a pretty tight squeeze, and there's the spot that's the center, which will give us this over here. Now, my preference is, let's default to the circle template. Now, we have 3/8 of an inch. If we want to double that to a diameter, and we want to do it simply, if you take 3/8 and you cut the bottom number in half but keep the top number the same, that would be 3/4. So our 3/4 is the circle template diameter we're going to want to use, which when we find it is right here. Now the actual marks for the half circle are going to be here because that's where the radius is from, right here, when you use the compass. But for this, we put it here, but we're only going to draw the line from there to there. And that little dome part of the bell is now constructed. Next, we have to do the feet. Now the confusing part on the measurement of the feet is the one measurement is 1 5/16, the other one is 1 15/16. So what we're going to do is the 1 15/16 measurement, which comes down from the horizontal center line of the drawing. And that will be 1 space short of 2 inches. Then we take our compass, or I'm sorry, our T-square, not the compass, and we draw a nice light construction line right across here. So that gives us 15/16 on both sides. Next, we're going to measure off of our vertical center line 1 5/16. So 1 5/16 is 1 inch and 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We make a mark there, and then we're going to go here, find our 0 point on the ruler, and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's that. We're going to draw another little tiny center line. And that's so we can line up our circle template. Now we need a 3/4 inch diameter circle, which is going to be for our feet on our clock. We line it up this way. And then we go over here, and we line it up here. Now there's a slight measurement discrepancy, which my guess is that the 4-inch circle is not quite 4 inches. Nope, it seems to be okay. I'm not quite sure where I missed it. This should overlap slightly, but it doesn't. It's 15/16. Some days it just doesn't work right. So this is slightly incorrect, but that's the clock. That's the roughed in part. You darken your object lines. You don't have to do dimensions. You fill in your title block, remembering that your measurements over for the title block from the border line is 4 boxes that are 1.5 inches, So you go, I start with 0 somewhere over here and 4.5 here. Well, 1.5 inches puts me there, and then there, and then there. And there we go. There's our boxes for our title block. And our title block is roughed in. And again, these are in construction lines, which should be able to be erased. Clean up the little marks all around on it. Finish the numbers, and that's it. Drawing's done. I think this video has taken all of 20 minutes. Certainly I don't expect students to be able to do that fast, but that's the clock drawing. Thanks for watching.